I'm so glad to have you on here. This is quite the honor, man. We're talking about what happened to you yesterday. This is the last thing I saw last night before I went to bed, and I'm so big into stuff like this that it just caught me. Not only it should be national news, brother. It should be national news.
Well, now, I tell you what, it almost made national news. Actually, I had an interview on his voicemail about it. He wanted me to call him, so I gave him an overview of what happened. And apparently, according to his Facebook page, a lot of people were experiencing this.
Yes, there are.
Now, there was an earthquake in the Middle East during the same time period. And plus, there was a meteor went down in Spain, meteorite, that exploded twice. Let me tell you what happened here, in case
right on, absolutely.
Don't realize.
It is all yours, Billy.
I had taken my wife up to a medical clinic for some physical therapy, and was sitting out in the park a lot. Now, mind you, I've got a little Hummer, and I'm a radio operator, so I got antennas all over it. Okay, I had my sunroof open, and my door was open. I was just sitting there, and I felt this kind of weird thing on the back of my neck happening, and then it was like a flash engulfed my car, and I couldn't see much further than to the next car, but I know it engulfed the car next to me. And it went through my sunroof and through my windshield and through my windows and everything. And I heard this pop sound, something like a paint can in a fire, incendiary type deal, where you throw a paint can, a hairspray can into a campfire and hear it pop. Yeah. That's what it sounded like. Okay. And when my wife, I posted it immediately on my Facebook page and got a lot of responses, people guessing about what it was, anywhere from St. Elmo's fire to EMP bump to, and finally somebody come up with a tectonic plate movement in the Middle East. And I had no idea what it was, but when my wife came out of the doctor's office, she looked at me. She knew I was shaking up, and I had told her about it. And the back of my arm that wasn't on the window side was red. And so I experienced something.
You betcha you experienced something. No one would possibly have made that post that you made if they wouldn't have experienced something incredible. And you wouldn't have Go ahead.
Brother, I was shaken up. I'm still shaken up over it. And I have a friend that lives 200 miles south of me here in Texas. Now, I'm in San Antonio, and she lives down near Corpus, okay? It's down on the coast. Now, she was looking out her window at the same time, okay? And there was some roofers next door to her house putting on a tin roof, and she caught the flash at the same time I did, but she thought it was some sheet metal that just flashed in her eye.
Yeah.
And so she went next door and asked them if they had a nail gun that went off or something like that. And they said these Mexican guys, they couldn't speak English, were on top of this roof. And they said one of these guys were pointing up at the sky and going, pow.
Yeah.
And this is at exactly the same time. I mean, our posts were within, 10 minutes of each other.
You betcha. Something happened yesterday. Something happened. Absolutely. And I looked it up. I've been doing a little bit of research on it. I've got Dr. Hardcore right now probably doing research on it because he's had a weird electrical experiences also. Both of the cars in his driveway were dead this morning.
Wow.
Doc, are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was muted.
Go ahead, brother. Tell your story, and let's try to link some of this stuff up, brother.
Well, so it's just like Ziggy said, that had both cars dead at the same time, and I had a backup battery that I charged and got them both going again, and then whenever I left, about a block and a half from where I live, there's a T intersection where you have to go around a turn, and there was a van stopped halfway into the turn in the intersection, and they didn't have any lights on or anything, and I wasn't sure if anybody was in it, so I stopped and waited behind them. I was about ready to go around them, and they started moving again. Still didn't have any lights on the back of it. They were going really slow. They went about a half a block further and completely stopped again. No taillights, nothing. So I went around them, figured they're having some kind of trouble, And as I went by, the driver looked very confused and was trying to look like they were trying to start their vehicle and looking at their gauges and everything.
Yeah.
And I went and ran an errand, and on my way back at the same intersection, whenever I went around the intersection where they originally stopped, my car suddenly, I lost all steering, like the car, and something started beeping as though the car died when you lose power steering.
Yeah, yeah.
And I continued rolling through, put on the brakes and rolled through the intersection, but the engine was running the whole time, and I regained control and went on driving. And I've never seen that car do that. It was the strangest thing, just a set of coincidences, and oddly, I didn't even really think anything about it or connect them until I read Bill's story this morning and was thinking, well, that's weird.
You betcha. Dr. Hardcore. Go ahead, Billy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a little bit of delay here. We had that major solar flare with CME, and we could have got an EMP bump out of that. And it could be a combination of things. The earthquake, the solar flare, and I don't know, but that's the weirdest daggone thing I've ever experienced in my life. Well, and I'm into electricity, I'm into radio, and I'm into electronics. I'm an amateur ham operator, and I've seen just about everything I thought until that happened, but that shook me up.
Hey, Billy, do you know I'm a ham operator also?
Say again?
I'm a ham operator also.
Yeah, KI5QY.
I used to be KB5UAO. I let it slip. I'm about to come back.
Well, y'all do that, because I'll tell you what, with these solar flares, man, it's getting exotic out there.
It's getting exotic. It's getting exotic. Man, here's the tie-in. Billy is in Texas. Dr. Hardcore is in Oklahoma. And Oklahoma yesterday had 57 earthquakes. The biggest one being a 4.7, I'm sure somewhere around Prague, because I have a person that lives right on the fault line there in Prague.
No, it was in Luther.
It was in Luther.
They're not far apart, are they?
They're not very far apart.
They're like, I guess they're probably like 30 miles apart.
Yeah.
But in geological terms, that's next to each other.
Yeah, that's next to each other. But so something is going on. Something definitely is going on. And then I read Bill's stuff last night, and it truly freaked me out. But at the same time, I was just fascinated.
Yeah, listen, up there in Oklahoma where that happened, they have a lot of fracking going on up there.
You betcha.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's hard to say, because, we had that major earthquake in the Middle East, and then people are fracking. These plates are probably moving all over the place, but I can't guarantee that's what that was. I mean, I was the only one that experienced it, I guess, in that parking lot, and they thought I was bonkers. I went in and asked them if they had some kind of a power thing going on, or somebody's working on some of the radiation cancer treatment equipment or something like that, and there was floodlights behind me that were in the ground. I was wondering, well, maybe there's a short somewhere, but that popping sound, and Ziggy, it happened twice. Okay, it happened with a big one, and in about 5 or 6 seconds later, there was a smaller one, like it was stabilizing, like ground the sky lightning or something.
Yeah, because there's usually the tracer. You get the what do they call a finger or whatever, and then you get the full charge and the stabilizing charge afterwards.
Well, the dead battery thing, that's typical EMP type stuff there.
You betcha.
So I don't know. Well, listen, man, I appreciate asking me to call, and I might just see you on the way up to East Tennessee.
Well, you just come on by
for that little concert, because I sometimes I go the northern route, and it would be difficult for me to pass right by there.
Well, you come on out June 21st, 22nd down in Medicine Park, Oklahoma. That'd be great to have you down there. We'd love to meet you, shake hands, man.
Whoever's on your webpage said I can stay with you guys. I have
you betcha.
Camping. But I've got camping stuff, so I go camping quite regularly. But I was just worried about that meat pile deal there.
I definitely will try to get a meat pile going just for you, but we'll actually call it the Dewberry meat pile.
Oh boy!
Well, is that the real meaning of the pork in the park?
The pork in the park.
Whatever you do.
Right on, brother. I'm so happy to be on in San Antonio. Thank you so much. Everybody check out Dewberry Jams, AM 1670. There in San Antonio. They're doing us a great solid, and they got a great station. Thank you for everything you're doing, man. Dan, thank you, brother.
Well, enjoy your show.
I sure will, brother. I'm already enjoying it.
Okay.
Thanks, brother.
Keep the faith.
All right, brother.
Here.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey, guys, that was cool.
Now, did you say he was from Texas?
He's in San Antonio.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if I thought he was in Albuquerque, I was thinking he's not a native.
No, but he's a native Texan. You can tell that. Wow, man.